Hello everybody, I know you were probably expecting Nick, and you probably weren't expecting this live stream, but, I am Acacia Vandermark, and, yeah. So, I am live streaming because I'm live, I guess, now. So, today we're going to be talking about the Mandela effect, and I'm going to try not to be awkward because I used to do live streams like all the time on my profile, but I stopped them. So I'm going to do one right now. So we're going to be talking about the Mandela effect and a couple of other conspiracy theories. So if you guys don't know what the Mandela effect is, which you probably don't, if you don't watch Shane Dawson or if you've never heard of it, then you won't know what I'm talking about, but I'm going to explain. So the reason it's called the Mandela effect is because Nelson Mandela was a guy, obviously. A lot of people thought he died back in 1976, and that was even written in a book. But, and you know that if you put false information in a book, in a nonfiction book, that you can get sued for that. But so many people thought he died back in 1976 or something like that. But when it came up in the news that he died in 2013, people were like, wait, what? And, so yeah, that was pretty weird. But, yeah. So pretty much the theory is that about 20 or so years ago, our timeline kind of like switched, and now we live in a parallel universe where like little things are different. Like the Berenstain Bears. You probably think I'm pronouncing it wrong, but it is pronounced as the Berenstain Bears. If you were younger, then you might have read the books or watched the show or stuff like that. But it's actually called the Berenstain Bears, but you probably remember it as the Berenstain Bears. A lot of people were really confused about this, and that's why so many people remember it as, being the Berenstain Bears. Another example of the Mandela effect is Sex and the City. If you've ever seen that movie, which you probably haven't, you've probably thought that Sex in the City was Sex and the City, but it's Sex in the City. No, I think I just flipped that around. Oh boy. Time for Google. No, I was right. Sex and the City. Okay, I thought I got confused for a second there, and I was like, oh boy. Okay. So, Sex and the City, not Sex in the City. Okay. I know it's bad, Nick. I know it's bad. So, another conspiracy theory is that, I'm going to talk about something a little touchy. Was that 9/11, the attacks on 9/11 were possibly orchestrated or fake, so that we had a reason to go to war with Afghanistan. Yeah, that was... So one of the pieces of evidence that we have for this is the hole that was left after the plane flew into the Pentagon was about... The hole that was left was only 16 feet wide. But that doesn't make sense because the commercial commercial airline planes like that are like 126 feet long. So people thought that a missile flew into the Pentagon. And if there was a plane going by the Pentagon, it would have been shot down by the military. Another thing is, the commercial airline planes are made out of light aluminum, so they can fly through the sky. So there's no way that that one of those really light commercial airline planes could have done that much damage and made the Twin Towers collapse. It's not possible. It's not possible at all. So, even scientists have done studies about that, and, yeah. Another thing, another conspiracy theory is that it was planned by the government. Sorry, okay. So, have you ever heard of a controlled demolition? Well, let me walk you through it. A controlled demolition is where you're trying to destruct a building. I mean, you're trying to demolish a building. So they put bombs in like every layer of the building, so that way it falls down like that. Because if it were to fall like that or like that, it could have, fell and crushed like millions of other buildings and people. So some people started to look at the Twin Towers collapsing and said that it kind of reminded them of a controlled demolition. Because like some witnesses even said they heard bombs like going off in the towers before the attack even started. So that's kind of partial proof. And if you watch the video of the Twin Towers collapsing, it falls down straight down. Like, because there's no way that a plane could fly through and do that much damage, and it was set up kind of like a controlled demolition. And that is, we think that because we wanted a reason to go to war with Afghanistan, but we really didn't have any beef with them, so we wanted to start something, and it pretty much worked, I guess, I think. So, yeah. Well, that's the first awkward live stream. I'm probably going to do another one, but I need to refresh my mind because I just kind of went straight forward without freshing my brain. So I'm going to go do that, and then I'll be back, and we'll talk about some other stuff. So. Okay.